When your marketing feels like a cluster of great intentions and yesterday's fixes, you need clarity with a little bit of attitude.
Around here, messy brands get direction, tired websites get a wake-up call, and scattered ideas finally line up and behave.
We don't do boring. We don't do average. We do marketing that makes people pause and then click.
So grab a chair, pour a cup of coffee, and let's make your next move your smartest one yet.
This is Marketing Made Creative.
Hey, welcome to the Marketing Made Creative podcast. I'm your host, Kendra Gill.
I'm Chris Gill, and today we are diving into modern marketing systems. New year, new you, new marketing plan.
Cheese. Cheese.
I love fondue. I never met a cheese I didn't like.
That's
Deal with
fair.
it.
Oh my goodness. Cheese whiz over there, spraying it everywhere. Okay. Well, we don't want your marketing plan to end up where a lot of the New Year's resolution gym memberships end up in March.
Yep.
So we want to give you some really strategic ways to build your marketing plan so it's still working at the end of December. No more random acts of marketing.
Stop it.
We don't do that anymore.
Nope.
We are going to move to a system that works.
Yeah, we have a lot to unpack in this episode, so let's just jump right into it.
Okay, so I think the very first thing that we really need to talk about is why they don't work, why most marketing plans don't stick, and how you can change that.
Absolutely. So some common pitfalls for businesses are most marketing plans fail, not because they're bad, really. You know, a lot of people have a lot of really good ideas, but it's because they can feel overwhelming, right? Everything just feels too ambitious. Everything has to be priority number one, especially in the digital age. If I'm on Instagram, I have to be on Facebook. If I'm on Facebook, I have to be on LinkedIn. I think I already said that. If I'm on X, I have to run an email campaign.
If I change my shirt, I got to change my pants. If I change my pants, I got to change my belt. It's the whole,
it's
once
the
you get
domino
started.
effect.
Yes.
Yep.
But you can't go from 0 to 100.
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
You can't go from nothing to, I got to do all of these things.
Yeah. Well, and what we find is, this is going to be a common theme for us every episode, every time we're talking, you didn't start your business to spend all of your time marketing your business. And that's not realistic either. If you're spending all your time marketing your business and not working on your business or working in your business, you're not going to be successful either. And that's where a lot of times where that burnout and that overwhelm comes from is you don't have a plan in place. You're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. This episode is designed to get you past that, to move you into that intentional marketing space.
Well, and along that same line, a lot of people confuse ideas with systems. You said, we have a lot of good ideas. That's great. But a lot of times you need a deeper system to make sure that those ideas actually come to fruition. Yeah,
agreed. Yeah, and I would say motivation fades over time. And that's what we see a lot, again, with New Year's resolutions, right? You mentioned that gym membership come March. We have a lot of good ideas, but without those baby steps to keep those in place, that motivation fades over time. You don't have that kind of that accountability to fall back on to keep you in that zone.
Right. It's not a lack of effort. It's a lack of structure.
100%. Absolutely. There's no connection between tactics. I hinted at it earlier. Because you're trying to do everything, you're just throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks. Well, as we tell all of our clients, marketing is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So again, if you're in your business, you're wearing a lot of hats, you're just trying to do anything to get any kind of traction. A lot of times we say or tell clients, you really have to give things enough time to see what works. And then we'll get on this later. And then also know when to identify when something maybe isn't working. But there's that balance there. And so we're going to unpack all of that.
Right. A lot of people try a little bit of social over here. And then we're going to jump to an email over here. And then we're going to throw in some ads somewhere else. And it's not connected. And those things aren't reinforcing each other. And they're not working together.
Yeah. Yeah, and an overwhelm from trends is another big thing we see. People are just always chasing the latest and greatest. If you follow any marketer on Instagram, they're, at the end of the day, they're about clicks and views. So they're touting the latest AI tools, the latest TikTok trend. And
5 ways to go viral.
Exactly. 5 ways. Anyone promising that they can tell you how to go viral, they're lying to you. Viral is an alignment of the planets, the right video at the right time. You can't fabricate viral. I don't know, maybe Elon Musk could prove me wrong on that, but you just can't fabricate viral. So trying to chase those trends is exhausting. And as a marketing agency, we don't even do that. We in fact, we're pretty honest with all of our clients about that. We're not going to chase viral. We're going to chase consistency. We're going to chase, proven tactics. We're going to chase what works and then deliver results for you.
Right. So when we also talk about that overwhelm piece and these confusing ideas with systems, overwhelm is when you're looking at everything instead of the next thing.
Yes.
So if you can pare it down and really work on one thing at a time instead of looking at all of the pieces of the puzzle, you're going to have a little bit more success.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think we're going to get into this later, but that's where building a calendar and a plan comes into place. So again, you're not in your mind saying, oh my gosh, look at all of this stuff I have to do. It's just, oh, what's the next thing up on my calendar that I need to tackle? And that can be a 5 to 10 minute task versus man, I got to spend 45 hours this month on marketing. So it's a lot easier to take small bites as opposed to going to Texas Roadhouse and trying to shove the whole plate in your mouth all at once. I don't advise that.
Where's your sense of adventure? That sounds great.
Indeed.
I will also say that the consistency piece for that is a lot of what you're talking about. So instead of doing everything in January and then not touching your marketing again until December, is not going to help you very much. Yeah. Whereas if you go with the consistency piece, it's going to simplify your marketing.
Pace yourself.
There
we go.
So, all right. What does a modern marketing system or a plan actually look like?
Yeah. So big picture view, a connected ecosystem where branding feeds your website is driving leads, creative makes your efforts memorable, and everything ties into growth. And that's the key part. If what you're doing isn't delivering growth or delivering return on investment or measurable results, you're missing it. And that's the key right there. Key characteristics of a sticky system, which is kind of what we're talking about, right? That thing that we're sticking to long term. We're not just it's not a hit it and quit it. We're in here for the long haul. Strategy over tactics. It's the why before the what, and I know you have a lot of thoughts on that.
I am always a proponent of the why over the what. If you haven't read Simon Sinek's Start With Why,
that's a good book.
Do so. I totally pulled that one out of the air here while we're talking, but
it's not on the notes.
It is huge on knowing why you're doing something over just the what. That is what's going to connect with people. So that is a huge part of that sticky system. Another part of that sticky system is sustainable rhythm, not boom and bust campaigns, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, but consistent, repeatable actions. That's what makes a system.
Yeah, I think a huge part of the system is when we focus on the customer journey, right? So that's awareness, consideration, conversion, and then loyalty. Not everyone starts their customer journey with you in the same place. And this is where I think a lot of marketing plans kind of trip over themselves. A lot of business owners, entrepreneurs think that everyone is coming to their business at the same place in that journey. And it's just not the case. More times than not, when we're working with clients, we tell them you're going to have people coming to you that are just window shopping. They're just in the store looking around. You're going to have people that are in there semi-serious about buying, like they know they want a product. Maybe it's yours, maybe it's somebody else's. So they're just kind of that in between. And then you've got people that are coming to you. They've already made that decision. They want to work with you. They want your product. They're ready to buy. You need to make sure and have systems in place that capture all three of those audiences. If you don't, you're literally leaving money on the table. Yeah.
I think at its core, the modern marketing plan is really about being clear, sustainable, and measurable.
Ooh.
If you are not clear, sustainable, and measurable, your marketing plan is going to end up with that gym membership.
Yep. So,
not that I have tried a lot of gym memberships and didn't use them or anything.
All right, so we've unpacked a lot. We've thrown a lot of information at the listeners. Everybody buckle up. We're going to put this into real, actionable steps. So this is going to be a step-by-step building a plan you'll stick to. And
you know how I like my step-by-step plans.
You do. There's lots of steps to everything. So spoiler alert, everything we're getting ready to talk about, next episode, we are actually going to apply these to a company and show you what all of these actually look like in an actual plan, examples, tables, charts, calendars, the works. And that'll be Kendra's happy place.
It is, because I feel like a lot of advice that you get in marketing is all theoretical, but then you don't see how it actually plans out. The amount of times before I had joined you at Brick Road, a lot of that was Googling, what is a marketing plan? What do I do? How do I build one? And it just didn't never stick because I didn't really know how to apply the things that I was getting. So jumping on in, step number 1, get clear on your foundation.
Yes.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. I think this is the step that gets overlooked hands down the most. Clarity before content. And what we're talking about here is really defining your audience.
And your audience is not everyone.
You can't say you sell to everyone. You might sell, everyone might be willing to, or that's the bad way to say it. your product may be able to be sold to everyone, but that is not your target audience.
Right.
And that's a very, very different thing.
Everybody needs toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you look at commercials for that, well, who are they targeting? Families, people, households with lots of people in them. Why? Because big households are using more TP than a guy living by himself.
Sure.
So that's, again, knowing your audience, that's who matters. So you want to know who your best customer actually is, what problem they're actively trying to solve for themselves, and why they should trust your business to solve that problem. That is huge. And when we're working with clients, we actually call this, what's your X factor? This is the thing that makes you unique, the thing that makes you stand out. And that is going to help you define your target audience.
Sure. And a huge book recommendation for this, I've read it several times. I think you've actually read it several times too, is Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller.
Yeah. I'm actually Story Brand certified. So yes.
It was fabulous. It's a great read. It will really align a lot of things for you on your target audience. So I would go and check that out.
Yeah, and more than that, who you're talking to matters. For all of our clients, we build a tone and voice document. So if you're talking to truckers, truck drivers, you're going to write content and talk to them a lot different than you would be if you're an investment firm talking to high net worth individuals, right? Different audiences. One's not better, more right or wrong than the other. It's just we talk differently to them. So know who your audience is, know who you're talking to. Again, you kind of hit on this earlier. A lot of businesses try to market to everyone. When you do that, you reach no one. We actually ran that experiment in our early days of Brick Road Creative. I retooled our website. I'm like, we don't just do website design. We do logos. We do marketing. We build websites. We provide SEO. And
which we do.
We do all those things.
Right.
But I basically made our website hometown buffet of services, and our leads dropped like 80%. And it almost killed the business completely. As soon as we got rid of all that, niched down and really said, okay, websites is our bread and butter. Website design development is our bread and butter. Now we've expanded that in some other areas, and we'll get into that in a different episode. But when we really decided that's who we're talking to, people looking for websites, our business skyrocketed, and that has been the single greatest growth contributor of the last 5 years.
Nobody starts as an Amazon.
No,
right? Selling all of the things. They started, a lot of people forget how they started.
They were a book company. It was a place you could buy books online. That is what Amazon started as. Now they own retail.
Right.
But yeah, start with that niche. Once you get that nailed down, expand. But again, know who you're talking to.
Marketing without clarity just creates noise, not growth.
Yep.
So,
Again, yep. Yeah. We don't even need to expand on that. It speaks for itself.
Step number 2. This one is my happy place as well. Step number 2 is define 3 to 5 realistic goals for the year.
Yep.
3 to 5.
Yep. Write them down. Put them somewhere where you see them.
Not 20.
Yep. Yeah, it's
not a wish list.
Not a wish list. We're not dreaming big, reaching for the stars. We want to create 3 to 5 attainable goals. And they may be small, and maybe you hit those goals halfway through the year. If that's great, if you do that, that's great. Reevaluate, set some more goals. But yeah, I think a lot of times, again, this goes back to that overwhelm factor where people think they have to do everything. You may be on every platform, but be strategic about how you're interacting and engaging with those platforms. Again, 3 to 5 goals max for the year, not 20, not a wish list. The keyword here is realistic. We're not chasing go viral, double revenue overnight. Again, if you've subscribed to those plans before, we've had clients come to us that have like, oh yeah, I tried to do this, become a millionaire in 6 weeks thing, and it just doesn't work. It's not. The things in those books and those plans are just not realistic for most small to medium business owners. They're just not.
So I know that we have said not 20, stick to 3 to 5. And here's why. It keeps you focused, especially if you're wearing all of the hats.
Ooh.
So if you are a smaller business and you're wearing 17 hats, you cannot afford to do 20 different goals. You just don't have the time.
Nope. It's not realistic. It also, when you limit the amount of goals that you are chasing and trying to achieve, it allows real progress on each one instead of a shallow effect across many. So again, it's the term, we've all heard it, an inch deep and a mile wide. Nope, we want to flip that. We want an inch wide and a mile deep. So again, chasing smaller goals that have lasting impact versus just saying, look at everything I've done. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So how to set those goals is important.
Yes.
On how to build that formula. And when you're building goals, you don't want to be vague.
No.
You don't want to say
vague is the enemy of
more
progress.
Leads.
Yeah,
Ooh,
vague. That's not in the notes. Chris Gill came up with that just now.
Look at you.
I know. I'm so smart.
Oh my goodness. Can't take you anywhere. Oh my.
Nope.
So we don't want to have vague goals. You don't want to say more leads. That doesn't give you anything. You also need to know, if you say something like, I want 20% more leads, you need to know how many leads you had.
Yep.
Right.
So setting baseline.
Getting really specific on what exactly are we improving, getting measurable on how do we know if we hit the goal. You can't set a goal. If you say more leads, but you don't know where you've been and where you're going, you don't know if you've hit it.
Yeah. And that's a classic small business mistake. And again, it really comes down to, and I'm speaking from experience here, if you just don't have time to track all these things, you have to make time if you want this to be successful. And again, setting those goals, creating that baseline, knowing, okay, we got an average of 10 leads a month last year. We need to double that. We need to go 20. That's a goal. And even if you don't hit that, I think this is a key point. Even if you don't hit that, it at least helps you set the stage for knowing, okay, we didn't meet that. Now you can ask deeper questions. Why? What can we do different? How can we improve? So setting that goal, putting a number to it is absolutely key.
And your goals really should tie into your revenue or your growth, because if not, then why have them?
Yeah.
So, your time is your most limited resource. So you want to make sure that your goals are really pushing your business forward to where you want to be.
Yeah, I think you asked me, what do I want for Christmas this year? And I said more time, more hours in the day to get stuff done. And it's true. And I feel that. I think a lot of other business owners feel that as well. So.
Giving me real attainable things over there, Gil. Giving me real attainable things.
Hey, I can dream.
All right. So some example goals.
Yeah,
I think that's important.
Let's put this into
We've said what
practicality.
they're not, so let's tell what they are. Some examples might be book 20 discovery calls per quarter.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Another one might be increase qualified leads by 30% through website and email. So again, this focuses on better leads, not just more noise.
Growing monthly recurring or repeat client revenue by 25%. And all of these are fun. When you say like 25%, you probably should know what that number is.
Yeah.
25%. For me, I like the percentage, but if I say 25%, I need an actual number. That equates to 20 more leads.
Right.
So make it concrete. If percentages work for you, great. I want 25 more leads.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, so, another one might be, convert 40% of discovery calls to paid clients. This shifts focus of, to the sales process improvement, often a hidden gold mine. So just, again, making sure that we're closing or increasing our closing rate. Again, give yourself a number for that.
Sure. And another example, because this is more based on the assets that you own, instead of saying, we want 25 more followers on Instagram, that can be a little tricky. It's not a platform that you own. So it's great. It's also a little bit more of a vanity metric.
Unless you are an influencer where the amount of followers you have directly correlates to revenue you can receive from advertisers. Increasing your social following as a business is just not, more times than this is not a blanket statement. It's more times than not, your social following and your social engagement does not correlate to increased ROI, sales, and business. It's just, it's becoming we have a whole different episode to talk about this, but the whole dead internet theory, everything's AI. Yeah. But social media, it's for service-based businesses especially. Product-based businesses, man, that might be a little different because you're promoting your products. But I would say in general, social media is a tough platform to measure followers and leads correlating to ROI.
Well, and I would rather have 5 qualified leads over 100 people who follow me but don't actually,
correct
care.
Yeah.
So, anywho,
grandma's not buying your service, but she follows you on Instagram. Anyway. All right. So notice that none of these that we just talked about are post every day or grow followers by 10K. We kind of said that. Those are tactics, not goals. And the difference between tactics and goals is crucial. Your goals should make you money or save you time. Everything else in your marketing plan supports one of those two goals. If you're not getting more time or making more money, we got to readjust some things.
Right. Yeah. I always like to say, if you're not making money, you have a hobby, you don't have a business. So make sure your goals support that.
Yes.
So your goals, to make them really stand out and really focused, write them down somewhere, make them visible, share them with your team, that accountability is huge. If I tell my team, here's our goal, we're going to do 100 new websites next year, or this year. We want to make sure that the team's on board too. They need to know so that they can be a part of that strategic plan.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's something about seeing your goals every day. Like it just reinforces it. It's like you then subconsciously start to make decisions that make those happen.
Sure, they're your filter.
Yeah, exactly.
They filter all of your marketing.
Yeah, writing them down once at the beginning of the year, putting them in the desk drawer and forgetting they're there again, that's where that momentum drop happens. So again, make sure they're staying in front of you, you're seeing them every day, write them down every day. I think there's a book that we talked about, it was Atomic Habits, I think it is, where they tell you.
Yeah, I remember. It's been a while. I need to
one of
reread
those.
that
Yeah,
book.
it's a good book. So even if it's not what I'm about to say, it's still a good book you should read. But basically, it was if you write down your goals every day, just 2 to 3 goals every day, and then your long-term goals, you start to make micro decisions throughout the weeks, throughout the months that accomplish those goals without you even realizing it. So absolutely.
And when it becomes a filter, it's really tempting to everything that comes through. You want to do all of the things, but if it says, if it doesn't hit my goal, then it waits.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, step number 3.
Yes.
Which we've talked about a little bit, but map out your core channels and tools. We don't want to jump right into the whole marketing plan, make it for all of the different platforms, right? You need to choose one.
Yep. So we tell people start simple. Pick 1 to 2 channels. And when we're talking about channels, examples of these are, email, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, blogging, podcasting. Again, in the digital realm, there are so many avenues to take. Start small, scale up. If you try to tackle everything all at once, that's where the burnout happens. That's where it's like, my gosh, this is just a monster. I can't do all this all the time and keep my business. So start small, scale up. Yep. Make them connect. This is a huge one. So we don't want to clone content, but we do want all of the content across your channels to connect. So if you're running, I equate this to like when you see retail campaigns, right? You want to make sure that if you're running a promotion for a product, you're selling this at 20% off, mention that on all your other channels as too. Don't let your content just be isolated and exist independently of each other. They don't have to be cloned, but you want to make sure that everything's tying into whatever goal it is you're trying to achieve.
And if you have bigger marketing and you have more pieces to your marketing, and maybe you have more team members working on your marketing, that's where a tone and voice document, we've talked a little bit about that, and maybe we'll do a whole episode. I don't know. We'll see. But your tone and voice document is going to streamline so that you sound like you on all the different platforms that you're on. So if you're on 2, you want to make sure that it doesn't sound like Barbara over here wrote this content and Sally over here wrote this content and they don't sound the same. Yeah. You want them to line up. So a tone and voice document that you can base all of your decisions on.
Well, and a huge part of this, and we're actually going to go into some tools. A huge part of this is, and with more and more people using AI tools to help create content, if you don't have a tone and voice document, if you're not instructing that engine, whatever you're using to create your content, you're going to get whatever it spits out at you. If you tell it, hey, here's my tone and voice, here are the words we use, here are the words we don't use, use these industry terms, don't use these industry terms. If you put the word candor in here, I'm going to explode. Whatever your red flags are, give it that information, that tone and voice document, and it will give you consistent content every time that sounds like you. So that's, we didn't put that in here, but that's a pro tip.
When people haven't done that, the words that I hear, it all sounds the same. Some words that I absolutely know are AI. If you say something's going to soar, people don't usually say journey.
Journey. If you see the word journey in anyone's marketing content, they're using AI, hands down.
For the most part, unless it says customer journey, because that's a thing. Like that's an actual term. Don't look at me like that. That's a term.
Agree to disagree. Okay, fine, whatever.
Haven.
Well,
I don't know. Okay.
We'll have a whole mini episode on AI identifiers, red flags. That'd be a fun one to do. All right, so tools for small teams, affordable automations, email flows, simple scheduling. Again, we're trying to eliminate busy work, and it's okay to use these. So when people are trying to get into email campaigns, there's a lot of email marketing platforms out there. MailChimp, Constant Contact. They've all gotten fairly expensive. The free versions are limited. Our favorite, as of the recording of this episode, getting ready to move into 2026, is MailerLite. It's free. They have a free account, and it has a ton of features for the free version, and you get a lot of subscribers at the time of recording this. And automations. I think it's up to 500 subscribers for email lists before you have to pay for it. So MailerLite for email marketing is right now our favorite for people that are just trying to get into that space.
And it's easy to use.
Easy to use.
I've
super
used,
friendly.
listen, I have used a lot of different types of email marketing, and I really like MailerLite.
Yep.
So,
Yep. And it's a big platform. I mean, it integrates with a lot of things. They have API keys, so if you're doing web forms on your website, you can hook into all that.
options.
Very easy to use. Yep.
So for scheduling, most service-based businesses use some kind of scheduling to do whatever their service is.
Calendly is the big one. So that's what we're talking about here.
Well,
so
Calendly, Acuity, a lot of people are using those options. We actually use cal.com. One, it's free because I like free tools, right? And it's really robust as a free option.
Yeah.
We have several different, I think Calendly only lets you do one type for free. Calendly, I think we're up to like 10.
And we're saying types, meeting types.
Yeah,
so like
meeting
event types. So like when people go to our cal.com page, they can schedule a 30-minute meeting, a 1-hour meeting, a discovery meeting, a content review meeting.
They have a paid option.
Yeah. They have paid options. Where they're making their money is on teams where people need lots of schedulers, but they've pretty much committed to saying, hey, if you're a one-man show or you just need a limited scheduler, this is going to be our free product forever. And it is very feature rich.
Sure. And Google Docs and Google Sheets are my love language. So seriously, if you're not using those to help plan, it's
Project
a great
manage.
option.
Yeah, if you don't want to pay for project management tool, use those. Something that is really great for helping map that customer journey and just mind mapping in general, figuring out different components of your business is whimsical.com. So this is this is going to be similar to like Miro, any of these like visual mapping boards that you see. I really like, again, it's free for a single user, and I think you get, 4 or 5 active projects or boards at a time. They are constantly updating, adding features. That's one of our favorites. And then just for project management, if you want to get into it, Trello is a great option for just, again, setting those goals, helping you plan a content calendar, make sure that things are scheduled correctly. Again, all of these tools have free options. Go check them out. We're not paid. By the way, none of these are sponsored for us. These are just tools that we use, we like, we recommend to clients all the time.
We
no
have used
kickbacks.
every one of these.
Go get them.
Yeah.
Go get 'em.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Get 'em.
Oh boy. All right. Step number 4. Create repeatable content in a promotional rhythm.
Yes.
Make it intentional.
Plan it. Monthly and weekly actions. So this gets into that start simple. We just want to do like 1 newsletter, 2 social posts, 1 blog update. This, again, we're not shooting for the moon here. We are just trying to get a rhythm established. This is habit forming is really what we're talking about here.
Well, and in Atomic Habits, so one of the things that he does mention, because I remember this.
To mention that book either.
I love books. We're going to, listen, I'll have a whole list at some point.
Yes.
But Atomic Habits, one of the things he says is if you want to start, for example, getting healthy or going to the gym, the first thing you do is you got to put on your gym shoes.
Yep.
Maybe the first day, that's all you do. You just put on the gym shoes, because once you get that habit, then you're more likely to go to the gym.
Yes.
Then you take the next step. Okay, I'm going to put on the whole gym outfit, right?
Yep.
So it's piece by piece instead of everything all at once.
I'm going to the gym for 2 hours today.
Yeah. And then I'll never go back.
No.
Because it was horrible.
Yep. Again, start small, scale up. Start small, scale up. That's going to be the repeating theme here.
The other thing to do is really to maximize your time is to batch your different tasks. So batch your creative, make your creative all at one time, schedule it all at once, right?
Design templates. I mean, that's a huge thing. If you've got, and we do this for clients even, if you've got different types of content that you post, and we'll get into this, developing a content calendar, you can have templates for things to where we're just changing the information, we're changing out the image. Again, these are the things that are going to cut down on time. Get a Canva account. Canva Pro is not even that expensive. If you're not super creative designy, there's a lot of really good stuff being put in there now. When Canva first came out, it was the devil. I hated it. I still don't love it, but I've accepted that it's in the world, and so I'm learning to not burn it down. We're just using it.
I use Canva all the time.
I know you do.
I'm a Canva junkie.
I know you do. Well, and
but
Canva,
I also don't do our creative. So
no, Canva also owns Affinity, which is the company that does produce the professional grade editing software we use. So I'm learning to accept it that it exists.
And if you're not ready to do the monthly and weekly actions, I would say start with your evergreen content. Build a lead magnet that's going to live on your website that is going to keep going without you having to build a new lead magnet every week, right?
Yeah.
You can build that promotional content that leads people to your lead magnet. But if it's on your website, it's going to work for you even when it's 2 a.m.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
A great thing to do is just start with a holiday calendar. We do this for several clients. In fact, as 2026 is getting ready to roll around, we just created new jobs and we're planning out all of the holiday posts for like different promotional banners for clients' websites. We're going to hit Valentine's Day, we're going to hit Memorial Day, we're going to hit 4th of July, we're going to hit Halloween, we're going to hit Thanksgiving. Like, it's map those out. Those are the easy ones.
Well, if you're having a launch, if you know that you're going to have a launch for a different, a new service or a product or whatever you're selling, map out when that goes, because you don't want to be like, I think I'm going to do that next week.
Yeah, nope.
Right? You want to plan ahead for that so that you have the resources and the time built in. So.
Yep. Schedule ahead.
Yes. Step 5.
Step 5.
Measure what matters. I am a huge proponent of your data tells a story. Do you like the story that it's telling? You have to know your data.
Well, and all data is important, but not all data is equal. You need to measure the things that are important to your business.
What's going to reach your goal?
Yeah, what's going to reach your goal? If just getting people to your website or just getting people to like your posts that might be a goal, and those things might be good. But are those the things that are actually moving the needle, that are actually driving sales, that you're seeing return on your investment? And investment doesn't always just mean time. Are those the things that you're seeing return on investment of your time? And sometimes that's just as critical as anything else.
Well, if you know your close rate is 10%, if that's typical, you know how many leads that you need to get in the door
for sure.
so that you can get as much money that you're needing to hit in your goal. So, all of those, you have to know those metrics to make sure that you're going to hit the goals that you have set.
A huge part of sustaining momentum and keeping success going throughout everything we've talked up to at this point, you have to celebrate your wins. Every time you hit a goal, every time you get close to a goal, set micro goals. So here's my big goal. Well, within that, it's when we get to 20% of the goal, we're all going out for a drink. When we get to 30% of the goal, we're all going out to dinner. When we get to 50% of the goal, set those micro goals, celebrate those wins. It is data backed. You get a dopamine hit when you take time out of everything you're doing, acknowledge the win, do something to celebrate it, even if it's something as simple as we're taking the last 5 minutes of the day, we're just going to go grab a coffee and just like talk about how awesome it is that we're actually making something happen. It reinforces all of those micro behaviors as well throughout the day to be like, this is working, so we need to keep working it.
It's really easy to focus on all of the things you haven't done yet.
Yes.
We talk about it, I think, every year in November, December. What have we accomplished this year? And you look back and you go, holy moly. Yeah. Like, I didn't even realize that we had done all of these things. So if you celebrate those wins as they happen, it's a momentum gatherer.
Absolutely. Again, it just reinforces those wins. It's that little dopamine hit that makes you excited. It makes you want to keep doing more because it's working. Right?
And if there's a coffee at the end of that rainbow, I'll work a little harder.
Coffee, margarita, you just take your pick.
one of the two.
All right, let's move on. Last step.
Make it stick.
Make it stick. Habits and accountability. Accountability in marketing is huge.
So this is a little bit different than we were talking about before when we were talking about the rhythms and things. The habits that we're talking about here in the accountability is now we have to schedule time in our week to make these things happen.
Ooh, yep.
So instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to release a newsletter every week, it's going to be, well, you have to have time to build the newsletter. So you need to schedule out that time somewhere. And if you have a newsletter per week, block out time to do 4 in a row so that you batch the content and then you schedule it out and it's already done.
Yeah, I will tell you, and this is not in the notes, I'm going semi-rogue here.
Oh boy.
As a small business owner, half of my day is taken up by things I did not plan for. And so it is really hard to dig into this stuff. But I will say this, you will make time for the things that are important to you. So at the end of the day, if you say, man, I really didn't get X, Y, and Z done, like it or not, this is going to hurt. Well, those things you didn't get done were not the priority things. That's the reality of it. So if you're going to be serious about marketing your business, adding growth to your business, making it sustainable, you have to be intentional, put time on the calendar, and then commit to that and say, barring my kid going to the hospital or something, or, like something act of God you can't control, I am committed to doing this today during 8 to 5.
And if you don't have the time, then that's where you can go and you either have someone on your team, so designate those roles, the small team buy-in, or you hire someone outside of your company to come in and help do those things. Because again, you can't wear all 100 hats of your business.
And if you want to hire somebody, we know a guy. we know good people that can help you with this stuff.
Yeah, websites and everything.
Yeah, all
branding.
of it. Yep. All right. So momentum builders. Again, we're going to talk about this as the recurring theme. Start with quick wins to build confidence. Success is showing up regularly, not perfectly. So many people think that that all of your marketing has to be just like this picturesque, picture perfect. My background was graphic design, print design. Everything had to be like perfectly neat and tidy. When social media came around, I thought that social ads had to be like these picture perfect moments ads, like I was designing an ad for a magazine. It took me a long time to get out of that mindset and realize that no, people expect to absorb social content that's more like somebody holding a cell phone or walking around. It can be more casual. It can be more on the go. Social content is not forever. It is fleeting. So again, show up consistently, not perfectly. Don't focus on the details. If you stumble over a word or if, oh man, somebody was doing something weird in the background of that video, it's okay. Nobody's going to remember that. Or maybe it'll help you go viral. I don't know. We don't know how to go viral.
A really good
happens.
example of this with creative. I saw an ad the other day. You might have seen it too. But it was just a black background with text on it. And it said, our graphic designer was sick today. They wrote the content. And it was hilarious. And it was great marketing.
Yeah,
and
love it.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. I love it. Yeah, success is, again, showing up regularly, not perfectly, and progress compounds. It really does. Those micro wins, those small wins add up to big wins at the end of the year if you're consistent and you stay on top of everything.
Sure. So you don't need a louder marketing plan necessarily. You just need one that works even when you're busy.
For sure.
That is, if you go through all of these steps, your marketing plan really is going to work pretty well for you.
Yeah, it works if you work it. That's straight out of the Alcoholics Anonymous playbook, but it's true. It works if you work it. Like you can't just show up once, hope, say the prayer and hope it works. No, you got to be consistent about it. Don't let another year slip by with scattered marketing. Start small, build the system, watch it grow. It's like a plant. Plant the seed, water it every day, watch it grow.
I'm not the best judge of that. I can't grow plants.
You've killed cactuses. Those just
I'm sure it works just like that if you water them every day, but I forget.
All right. We're going to wrap this up because that... Thank you for joining us. If you want to see this marketing plan in action, join us next episode where we're actually going to take everything we talked about and we're actually going to walk through a system for a business where we're actually going to show what a content calendar looks like. We're going to have some examples of some things we're going to talk through, and we'll have those available as resources for you to download as well. So stay tuned. Join us next time. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited. See you next time.
Bye. If your brain just whispered, wow, that explains a lot, take a seat. You're among friends.
So now, don't ghost your own momentum. Subscribe so every episode hits before the chaos does.
And hey, toss us a review. It tells the algorithm you're tired of boring advice. And when you want resources that punch way above free, head over to brickroad.com.
Until next time, go make your brand impossible to ignore.